And welcome back to the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. I'm your host, Dave. That gentleman right there is my son, Sam. And together we're coming to you tonight for episode number 155. And it's a good one tonight. We have a lot to talk about in the week that was the Bengals collapse, but more importantly, today, Joe Burrow and his press conference. Want to get Sam's take on that. We'll share that with everybody here today, but also talk about the Reds once again missing out on a golden opportunity. And, it's more of the same old here in Cincinnati. Crosstown, we'll recap the crosstown shootout. Wes is now 1-4 in the game. And, will that be the end of Wes Miller era here if he doesn't make the NCAAs? We're coming to you here on a Wednesday evening in Cincinnati. So stick around for the week that was coming up next on the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the week that was. Let's talk a little bit about the Bengals game, and I want to get your take on the Joe Burrow's press conference. Did you hear that?
I didn't listen to it, but I saw some people reacting to it.
So I'm going to play the first part of it for you because this is the most, I guess, compelling part and the most interesting part where, sorry, that was the second part. Here we go.
Fun doing it. I've been through a lot. It's not fun, and what am I doing it for? That's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table. Too frustrated. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of things going on. You said there's nothing.
So, thoughts? I mean, now that you heard it live, I mean, you want to thank Drew Garrison off of Twitter, and I think that was from Charlie Clifford who's put it out there first. So Burrow's comments. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
initial reactions.
You don't say something like that if you're not having fun. You almost say that as a reminder to yourself. It's kind of like a last ditch thing you say to yourself when you're about to quit, and you don't necessarily want to, but you're just fed up with everything. So that just leaves room for speculation on what exactly he's fed up with. I think we all know because it's been 2 years of the same stuff. The defense is JV high school defense at best because of the refusal of the Brown family and Duke Tobin to improve it. They have missed on every single draft pick they've made, every free agent signing they've made. They have let key contributors walk. They pissed off Trey Hendrickson to the point where he doesn't want to play anymore. And how they've just handled this whole past 2 years it's a disaster. It's very similar to Carson Palmer, except this time the fans are not going to be on the Bengals side. The Brown family has a real mess on their hands because the fans, and I don't mean like it's 60-40, I mean it's probably 99% of the fans are in agreement with Joe Burrow here. Yeah, because we're sick and tired of it too. It's not fun for us to watch the Bengals. There's a reason why I have to work a weekend day. I chose to work Sundays. There's a reason for that. It's not really because I wanted to watch UC football choke away another season, but it was better than the Bengals at least. And so, yeah, I mean, Burrow's only been here 6 years. I'm 30 years old. This has been my whole life. We're sick and tired of it too. They have a real problem on their hands. The ownership does. And if it's not a head coach fix, it's not a player personnel fix. They have to get actual football people in the building to make football decisions. Because I mean, the nepotism and stuff, it's not working. And the fact that they're too stubborn to realize that it's upsetting. And I mean, they're going to not just lose the best player they've ever had, they're going to lose the majority of their fan base as well.
Yeah. I think listening to that, the first thought obviously was Carson Palmer, right? It's like, and during that whole, saga of the Carson Palmer, the Brown family controlled the narrative, right? I mean, Carson tried to come out and say things, but
social media wasn't a thing back then.
Social media wasn't. The internet and this stuff was not a thing. It would have had I think, a totally different vibe. I don't think the city, the citizens of Cincinnati would have been dumping trash on Palmer's yard like they did if social media was around. And you got the ins and outs of everything. And you had people that weren't afraid to speak up and say, look, this is not right. We're bringing in, there was Carson's situation was different as far as the defense wasn't horrible. It was just,
it wasn't.
It was, I want to say, let's see, how can I put it? But the players were undisciplined. They weren't there to play football per se. They caused a lot of chaos, a lot of, just stupidity and immaturity and things that Carson was fed up with. And the management turned a blind eye. Marvin couldn't do much. So it was a little different thing. This, to me, has like Andrew Luck from the Colts more so than Carson Palmer, because Joe Burrow is a football player. And when you go out and say, from 1 week, right? From 1 week after the Ravens game that, why did you come out here? Because, I'm making a lot of money. I want to play. I want to, give the fans, this and that. And, I'm a football player. I want to play for the guys. To this week saying, I'm just going to go out there and, give the fans a show. And now to, if I'm not having fun, why should I be out there and doing this? He made his $50 million already this year. Right. He doesn't need another dime. I mean, he doesn't. And if he wants to, he could retire and go into the broadcasting booth, right? And be really good.
I bet he'd be a pretty good coach too.
He would be a real good coach as well. But I mean,
no. You don't want to do that if you're not having fun playing. You don't really get into coaching.
No, you don't. And because you can't really control it, right? Because the owners and the people above you. But yeah, so I just found that, and we'll talk about it when we talk about the Reds too, because nothing has changed, since Mike Brown has not bought the team, but since Mike Brown has inherited the team.
Yeah.
And, I hate to say this, nothing will change until he is no longer making the final say.
Even
right?
Even
then, I mean, you got the Blackburns, and I don't want to say I have more faith in them, but they have shown that they're willing to spend money on Burrow, Higgins, right? They did a few things, the Ring of Fame and the Ruler of the Jungle. They did some stuff like that, which shows it's good faith that they're trying to make it about the city, about the fans, bringing back players, stuff like that. But until, and I think you hit it on the head, until we get football people making football decisions, this is what we're getting, because the last 3 drafts have been horrible. I mean, we've had, DJ Turner's decent, but
I mean, one contributor out of the last 3 drafts is awful. Last year, both your 3rd round picks are just not even on the team.
Right.
Like, how does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. You have 6 scouts, and when UC is playing BYU up in Clifton, and there's 30 NFL teams there, and you're one of the 2 that's not there, what are you doing? Like, Mike Brown can drive up there in his freaking golf cart. How they're not in that building it's ridiculous to me. Like, it's 6 scouts when the next closest team has like 15.
Yeah. I mean, the Ravens in our own division, the Ravens have 27.
Yeah.
7.
And you wonder why they never miss.
Yeah.
seriously, who's their last, not even first round, top 3 round picks that they've missed on?
Well,
Like, they just don't.
some might say Bateman, but I mean,
Okay, but sure, was he? Honestly, they reached on him to begin with just
they did.
because they needed a receiver and they
Right.
wanted to draft one. It wasn't, due to a lack of scouting. It's not like, oh, the very next pick was, somebody else.
The very next pick was Tyler Lindenbaum, right? Like sort of like what the Bengals did,
right?
Or whatever. Like Lindenbaum was there, and we elected not to.
I meant like receiver wise.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not
I know, but I'm just saying that's just typical. We go after a Miles Murphy or someone like that, and Joseph Asai versus.
Well, it's just they see a need at safety. Kyle Hamilton's there, pick 20 or whatever.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. That was the best defensive player in college football the year he came out.
No.
Bengals know that's Miles Murphy, Shamar Stewart, who's got 4 career sacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, get out of here. It's
frustrating.
and it's getting old talking about it. It really is. It's getting old.
The season's over. The Bengals, went into Buffalo, looked great first half, and Buffalo up 21-11, and then the wheels fell off. And I got some stats that are just mind-boggling as well for you.
But they scored touchdowns on their first 3 drives. I mean, even it's just another game. Offense puts up 30-plus points and they lose.
Yeah. This is from James Rapine, Sports Illustrated article. So with the Bengals loss, Zach Taylor falls to 0-6-1 in games played the week after Thursday night football games.
So off the mini bye.
Yeah, off the mini bye, and we're
3 more days to prepare.
And that includes 0-2 this year with the loss to the Jets after beating the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The second thing, obviously, we know this. The Bengals are 4-7 over the past 2 seasons when scoring 33 points or more. The rest of the NFL is 136-10-2. Let that sink in.
That's what, a 90% winning percentage?
About, yeah.
And they're 3 games under 500.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they've done it 10 times speaks volumes to the offense.
Yeah.
And the defense is just, I mean, they're trash. Their 2 linebackers are the worst 2 in football. And then their third, rotation guy is graded as the worst cover linebacker in all of football.
And we won't even talk about who the heck was a spy on 3rd and 17.
Everybody knew what was going to happen. They were not throwing the ball. Josh Allen was not getting rid of that football. It was Tony Pike said it on the Tony and Mo football show. It was in the backyard. All right, everybody go deep. I'm going to wait till they say 5 Mississippi, and then I'm going to take off while you guys are 30 yards down the field so they can't tackle me.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what it was. And there was
where was the spy? Where was the spy? I mean, your linebacker, where
they're just
or the safety or whoever. Where's the spy?
If you don't want to spy, why aren't you in zone? Why are you playing man-to-man where all 5 of your defensive backs and linebackers are turning their back and running downfield?
Yeah, that was just bad overall.
That's on Al Golden.
That is,
and Tony also mentioned this. Al Golden puts his defenses in the worst spot. Go back to the championship game last year, Notre Dame. Best player in all of college football, 1-on-1 with a freshman cornerback who's in off of an injury, and he just leaves him on an island when everybody knows where the football's going.
Right.
It's dumb. It's just straight up dumb.
Yeah, the Bengals, with their 10-point lead at halftime, were 16-1 when leading by 10 or more at half. Their lone loss was Week 8 meltdown to the Jets. Think about that. 16-0, 16-1 when leading by 10 or more points. Meanwhile, the Bills were 1-28 in their last 29 games when trailing at halftime. Doesn't matter how many points, just trailing at halftime.
That tells me right there that one, Sean McDermott can't make a second half adjustment to save his life, but that he was somehow able to do it against the Zach Taylor team. That needs to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, and it's the defense, right? We can't cover a tight end. I mean, their tight end was injured, coming off a couple of games being out, and he catches everything and 100 and some yards.
I think tight ends, I saw the stat, I don't have it in front of me, but it was essentially tight ends are on pace to have Jamar Chase this season from last year. They would be a triple crown wide receiver if it was an individual player. Tight ends against it.
Yeah, right. I know we ran up against some decent tight ends this year, but holy cow.
I mean,
yeah, it's
not that good.
No. So, like we said, it was a tale of two halves. First half looked great. Rose, uncharacteristic, 2 picks in 14 seconds. And though, if they would have stopped him on that 3rd and 17 and got the ball back,
they were scoring.
We would have won the game. We would have won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just because, we would have won the game.
Or the 4th and 3 where they scored that touchdown.
Yeah, right.
And we had our linebackers, again, all 3 of them running after the same guy, leaving tight end wide open in the end zone.
Yep. So the only thing left to do now is play spoiler, right? We've got.
Damn, there's no get a top 12 draft pick, because what they're going to end up doing is winning 7 ball games.
Yeah,
and then they're going to pick 18th
right.
again. And what's the point?
Yeah.
At least give yourself a chance to get one of the top defensive guys. One of the 6 dudes from Ohio State. I'd take any of them at this point. Not even just Caleb Downs. I'd take that. I'm blanking on his name, but the edge.
Yeah, the edge
absolutely rusher. Wrecked Michigan. I mean, he'll probably be gone though. But regardless, I mean, they've.
Yeah, and the linebacker, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Styles.
Yep. So. Yeah. All right. Well, from one disappointment, I know for you, another disappointment Friday night, the crosstown shootout. I watched that I was up at your sister's and just watched it. And the first half was like, gosh, not really.
It wasn't pretty basketball from either team.
Right. It wasn't. But then Xavier got that little run, got that little spark, and they got up, went into halftime, tied. UC came back, and then Xavier tied it up at half, and then Xavier went on that run.
Jeez. So breaking news. I mean, we were going to talk about it in a little bit, but Sharon Moore was just detained by police up in Michigan. So there's some reasons for his dismissal, I guess.
Yes, we'll have to.
We can get into that in a little bit. It just popped up on my notifications. Anyways, I mean that game was not. All right. So that was the first UC game I was able to watch start to finish this year. And for a team that cannot shoot to save their freaking life, they just chuck threes. I mean, I didn't know what I was watching. That was just ugly, and they were not good looks. They were just throwing up bricks and air balls left and right. That first half was just ugly basketball, and I don't know. I mean, Xavier, for how bad they looked the first 2 weeks of the season, I mean, Richard Pitino's made some adjustments, and
he went small. He went small because he was playing big, and then he went small, and it seemed to be working, right?
And the lefty that they've got, that went for 30. Wes Miller, talk about just dumb coaches again. Never heard of a double team, and he's like, well, it's tough this early in the season to install a double team defense on how we want to double team. And I'm like, what? That's one of the most basic defensive concepts out there. What do you mean you don't know how to double team? Like, there's 2 kind of basic strategies. You either send somebody from the weak side, or the entry passer, when the guy cuts through, falls off to double. And then everybody else rotates and picks up the next closest man. Pretty basic idea. And not once did they double team him. And, I mean, the dude did not miss.
He didn't. He missed free throws, but he didn't miss anything else.
I mean, goodness.
Well,
Just awful.
it was great job by Xavier. And I think, Xavier is starting to, go up a little bit, right?
They
Going
are.
on that way. And UC, I think, even though they rebounded, but, they rebounded from the loss and they won this week. But, I mean, they got Georgia Saturday. I don't know. I mean, they can't shoot,
I don't see where they win a game in the Big 12.
That's what I was getting at. It's like Iowa State put a butt whooping on Purdue at Purdue. 30-some points. I'm like, oh my God, I saw that score. I'm like, wait a minute, is that the girls playing? No. I mean, it's like, what the heck? So I'm like going, and they're the 10th. I mean, granted, they were the 10th ranked team, but you don't go into Mackey and beat Purdue.
Even when Purdue's not good, you don't beat them in Mackey like that.
Not if it's a big game, a 1 versus 10.
No.
And everybody played for Purdue. That was it wasn't like they were missing anybody. And it was like I looked at the box scores and I'm like, oh my God, that was ugly. What the heck happened?
Yeah. And BYU is really good. Kansas is really good. Houston's really good. Baylor's pretty good. I don't see where UC wins a Big 12 game. I mean, maybe West Virginia, maybe. But at this point, like, you can't. There's not a game left on their schedule where you can pencil in a W. There's not.
It could be ugly.
I want to know what's happened to Kerr Kriisa, because that was a dude that you always wanted on your team and you would hate playing against. Just the prototypical college basketball guy that fits in, just the undersized white dude that talks way too much for his skill level and has unchecked confidence. And he just looks like a dude out there, like he doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't play with any energy. He's not getting under anybody's skin. I don't know why, like, what is Wes Miller doing with the offense? Why has a creative player that you bring in to be creative and to kind of be your microwave scorer, I mean, not doing anything. It's incredibly frustrating. I tweeted that they needed to leave him in Norwood, and a bunch of people agreed with me. So
that's what you said here. You said he should not be on that bus, but
he should have got on the bus back. But I guess
he's back. The buyout's too much, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the extra 200 UC fans in the building maybe could have helped, giving them that spark. But
that is true.
Cunningham didn't want to give those tickets out.
All right. Let's
and one more thing.
Yeah. All right.
Whenever a Xavier player does the zip them up, the two Holloway zip them up, and nobody steps up to him and confronts him or just straight up knocks him out, you have a soft team. Straight up just soft. Charmin soft. You can't let
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You cannot let them do that. And you can't let somebody whose school is not in the city of Cincinnati, it is in Norwood, its own separate city, say that this is their city. You just, nope. You can't do it. Can't do it. It's a disgrace to the uniform. It really is. It's absolutely brutal.
Speaking of the zip up, Lefty did it, Trey, I think that's his name.
Yeah, I can't even remember his name.
He did it, but how many of the UC guys know about it? I mean, seriously.
I would say zero. They don't have a single guy from Cincinnati on the team.
No.
I would say zero of them even know that that's a thing.
Yeah, Trey said that the reason he picked, like, the first thing that Xavier did when they were recruiting him, this is Richard Pitino, right? Who hasn't been here very long.
Just got there.
What he did, they showed him all the crosstown shootouts, right? They had like a montage of it. That was one of it. That was the zip up comment. That was all those stuff. So here's a guy whose first game there and his last game there scores 30 points, does it to the crowd, and to your point, none of the UC guys knew. I mean, they didn't, or they didn't care.
Say what you want about,
or they didn't care, right?
Yeah, right. But that's what's irritating about college sports. But say what you want about Mick Cronin, somebody on Mick Cronin's team would have done something, and if they wouldn't have, he would have done something.
Yeah, yes,
he would have done. He would have been in, maybe not the Trey guy's face, but he'd have been all up in Richard Pitino's face.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
100%. It's
Definitely.
a shame. It's really a shame. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. There are plenty of former UC players who are on the same exact page.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Kenya Martin wants to fight everybody at all times, so that's not
right.
saying a whole lot. But
yeah. So, all right. Now let's go to even more depressing news. Reports today, in winter meetings. Kyle Schwarber signed back with the Phillies, which it was most likely he was going to do, right? So 5 years, 150 million, 30 million a year. The Reds gave him, stuff came out. The Reds gave him the 5 years, but 125, right?
I'm not even sure that I buy that, to be honest.
Well, this is what we're leading into, right? And this is where I think everybody is starting to, the Bengal season is what it is because the unwillingness to spend on defense or unwillingness to change the front office strategy. Fans, are also seeing the Reds saying, okay, you went 5 and 125. You couldn't scrape up another
5 a year.
5
million
a year and defer it.
And honestly,
I mean, how much,
they
I don't know.
They probably wouldn't have even had to come up 5 a year. From the reports that we were seeing, that if they were close, they were going to be the leaders. I mean, over 5 years, $30 million is a lot of money.
It is.
It is. But what irritates me more is that Pittsburgh had a higher offer.
But that is the Bengals and the Reds philosophy is, hey, let's bring the hometown kid back home, and he might want to come back home for a discount because we're too cheap to pay premium prices, right?
If Data got Schwarber, butts would be in seats. One,
they would have paid for it. They would have paid for it.
Because people want to see Schwarber.
Right.
We all know we love the local kids playing for our teams, especially when they're good. But also, Schwarber puts us over the top. We would be a good ball team. That alone puts butts in seats.
Yeah.
That alone. So, I mean, their rationale for not doing it is
the rationale. Then the audacity to come back out, and this is where I think people are just fed up, is they come back out and say, yeah, it's back to
now the 125 is not there.
Right. It's just back to we're bargain hunting. Back in my day, it was the blue light special from Kmart, right? And that's what they're looking for, the bargain bins, blue light special. And it's like, wait a minute. And, a lot of people on Twitter is like, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's, 100%.
I was like, 5 for one, Baltimore. I think it was 160. 160.
Yeah. For 5
Baltimore for 5 years, and I'm like, okay, well, he's out of the question. But I was like, well,
Bellinger's still out there.
Bellinger's out there. Yeah. And if, he's a center fielder, that's a need.
Yeah. Power bat, lefty power bat.
Right.
Center fielder, that's a need.
That is a need.
I think.
But no.
They're not going to pivot to him, and I think the Mets are going to go after him since they lost Alonso. But I mean, that we're not talking about the Mets.
And then rumors, leaks, whatever you want to call it, is that the Arizona, that the Reds are in on Marte from Arizona via trade. And
why? You don't need a second baseman.
not even that, but it's the Reds don't leak stuff. They don't. They keep everything they don't leak anything. So that's Arizona's people trying to raise the bidding price, I guess. Yeah. That's my guess, is like, yes, they might have called and say, what would it take? And they're like, Hunter Green, click, right? Nick Lodolo, click.
Yeah.
We have to find somebody. Austin Hayes is coming back. They're going to try to bring him back.
I don't know if you saw Nick Kral's comment, I think it was Kral's comments. Kral and Francona today. talking up Blake Dunn. So,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw that about how he's already this winter. He's already improved, and so I mean, yeah, there's our acquisition.
Yeah. I'd rather have Henry Rodriguez up because Blake Dunn had his cup of coffee and he
we know what it
failed miserably.
It's not like he's 22 or 20. The dude's 27.
Right.
Like, we're good.
No, he is as Crawley, one of our ex-hosts here used to say, he is a fifth outfielder at best. TJ Friedel is a fifth outfielder at best, but he is our leadoff hitter and our number one center fielder. Yeah. So it's just frustrating for the Reds, fans, Bengals fans, Cincinnati fans, right? I mean, it's just, and 20 years ago, the letter came out on December 5th, right? Bob Castellini pens the letter to the fans. We're bringing championship baseball back to the Queen City, right? And everybody was excited because, here we go. And we're still looking around.
Yeah.
Where's it at? And I really think I think the Joey Votto contract killed any opportunity for this ownership group to do anything more. I mean, I really do. I mean, they gave, even though, it was a 10 years, $250 million contract, it hamstrung us at the time where we had a legitimate chance and we just needed a few more pieces and we couldn't go out and do it because of that contract. Now that's not the case because of the revenue and all this stuff that we're generating. I just think that our ownership structure is horrible. We got what? 16,
30 of them or something.
30 people, something like that, owns Castellini owns 30% and that's it, I think. And I mean, we just can't find anybody to come in and buy the team and spend their money, right? I mean, Bob's going to sell more cabbage and lettuce because we've got to be able to go out and get that extra $30 million and say, here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating for a fan. I mean, especially you, who's never witnessed winning baseball in Cincinnati.
They have not advanced in the postseason in my lifetime.
Yeah. At least I've been around long enough that, I've witnessed, the 3 World Series. I was small when they won the first one, but the first 2, I was 6 and 7. But I watched the games. I knew everybody. It was a Big Red Machine. I grew up in that era. Then we went through that little spell in the 80s where it was like, ooh, it was bad baseball. But then we won in the 90s. Marge, brought winning baseball back. Here we are again.
But when that letter came out, they were closer to the championship than we are today from the letter.
Right.
Which is...
Yeah. Exactly.
It's awful. It is.
It'll be interesting to see what's happening next year. Next couple of weeks, if we can make any type of news with a signing of a decent player, and not just some has-been that's going to take playing time away from someone else. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So, all right. We're going to move on to trivia. I have the trivia question this week, and it pertains to the Cincinnati Bengals and one particular Mr. Trey Hendrickson. Trey has elected hip surgery. Season's done, right? His career in Cincinnati is officially over because they're not going to. I mean, the Bengals probably are dumb enough to franchise him, tag him, but
he's not playing.
He's not playing on the tag. He's going to sit out. He's not going to do it. So, and this is where I said trade him back I don't care if it was just a 4th rounder, trade him because look, we got nothing for him moving forward from the trade deadline. Nothing. At least then, if we would have traded him for a 4th, we would have got a 4th round pick. Now we get nothing for him, per se. So, if this is, in fact, his last season with the Bengals and his last game a couple of weeks ago, He is in the top 5 in franchise history for career sacks at 61. He will be number 5 in 72 games. Can you name the top 4 all-time sack leaders in Bengals history?
Carlos Dunlap.
Carlos Dunlap is second.
Second? Okay.
Yep.
Geno Atkins?
He is third.
Yes, number 1. Who is number 1? I should know number 1.
I mean, if you know your Bengals history, yes. You weren't around when he played.
Yeah.
No, I was young when he played. But yeah, if you think you know the question, you want to play along, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, you can go ahead and submit your answers on here, YouTube. Look for Cincy Sports Scene and just go ahead and hit the comments and select those, hit that answer, put them in, or you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene and DM us the answer. And then we'll read your name and give you a big old shout out as the king of trivia or queen of trivia for episode 155. All right, you got 30 more seconds to guess this, and we'll go into the breaking news.
I want to say Frosty Rucker, but I don't think he had that many. He was here for a while, though. Yeah, I don't think I have it.
All right, so we'll come back next week with those answers to the question. So Sam's missing number 1 and number 4. You got 2, 3, and Trey Hendrickson was number 5. If you can help him out, leave it in the comments. Leave your answer in the comments. All right, moving on to the college football playoff and breaking news. Let's just go ahead. Sharon Moore, University of Michigan head football coach, was fired today with cause. Apparently had an inappropriate relationship with a football staffer, paid to have, this is alleged, paid to have an abortion for her, and that is against university, the conduct, university policies. And just a couple of minutes ago here during the show, Sam said breaking news that he has been detained by police on Wednesday. So basically, he was detained by the Saline, Michigan Police Department and later turned over to a second area police department for investigations into potential charges. And that's all it really says. What doesn't say what type of charges or anything. So that leaves the question, where does Michigan go from here?
Yeah, I don't know, because the cycles, as far as college guys go, the top names and top kids are gone. I mean, throw a couple names out there. Jesse Minter, I would imagine they would reach it back out to him, but I think he wants to stay at the pro level.
Well, he's got to show cause.
Oh, you're right. He does.
Show cause.
He does. You're right.
Because of
you're right.
that. It's a
You're
1
right.
year.
But still, that would set them back. I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but Brian Kelly's out there. And that's his neck of the woods where, at least culturally, he fits in a lot better than he does in the South. I think his ship has kind of sailed as far as
I do too.
Big name programs going after him. So I would think Michigan at this point is probably going to lean to a pro coach, just because no other college is it's gonna be tough to get another college coach out of there, out of the school that they're at. Because at this point, extensions have been signed, buyouts have gone up. Anybody that you would be able to get, you probably don't want to get. So I would think they go the professional coach route. That would be my guess.
Well, a couple of names that have been floating out there in internet world. Kalen DeBoer from Bama, especially if he has an early exit.
If they lose round one?
If they lose round one, he actually, what does it say? His first FBS coaching job was at Eastern Michigan. And he also has Big Ten experience with Indiana's offensive coordinator. That's a name, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll leave unless, like I said, Bama fans aren't happy with him going.
Oh, they want him out of there.
9-3, 9-3
Right.
every year, right? I mean, and we'll talk about making the playoffs, but
they want him out of there, and if he left for Bama, they would go after Lane Kiffin. I'm serious when I say that. They would, and that would just turn the whole college football landscape on its head. I mean,
and Lane would probably jump ship and go. Too,
Lane would do it. So
Lane would do it, because that's Lane.
Yeah.
A couple other names. Washington coach Jed Fish. He was a quarterback coach at Michigan under Harbaugh. Manny Diaz, they said, which I don't see that. I mean, just because he was Penn State's defensive coordinator for 2 years.
Yeah, I
don't see. But I mean, Diaz was a hot name at one time.
Right.
And then the last one, like you said, in the pros, besides Jesse Minter, threw this out, but I don't see it happening. Tommy Rees. He's the offensive coordinator for the Browns, and he was,
What about someone like Joe Brady? Bill's offensive coordinator. Someone like that. College experience.
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, Michigan's kind of.
Or Brian Daboll, college experience. He was. I mean, he was a good coordinator at Bama. Someone like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the route that they take. Just because I mean, like I said, they don't have a whole lot of options as far as the college game goes. I really don't think that they do. I mean, a name you would throw out that you would think would fit Michigan just immediately with how the roster is built is Matt Rule, but he just signed an extension, so he's not going. Then with Matt Campbell would have been a name, but he just took the Penn State job.
Penn State. And Michigan, they like Michigan men, right? They like people that have ties to the alma mater. So you got to look, through the coaching trees and other things. Is there somebody out there that we're not thinking of, right? There probably is somewhere, we don't know, but yeah. So the Michigan Wolverines, more details will be coming out, and it's just one of those things where it's like, Lane Kiffin goes to LSU. Ole Miss is in the playoffs. He wanted to coach in the playoffs, but Ole Miss said, nope, you're not coaching because of the portal and the transfer. You can take our guys, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I just, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like you said, James Franklin went to Virginia Tech. Matt Campbell went to, Brian Kelly would be a good fit at Iowa State.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably would. Because I think that's the level he's going to have to go to at this point in his career.
Right. I mean, that's a Big 12. I mean, it's a
big school, but it's not the top. Right.
Right. So, yeah.
It's a school that you can have success at, but you're not going to win anything. Right.
Yeah.
But Matt Campbell's a great coach, but I don't think he had a 10-win season. He never won the Big 12 there. But, I mean, he was always 8-9 wins, which is, I mean, that's tough to do at Iowa State.
It is. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the college football playoffs here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So here are the brackets. Let's take a look. December 19th, Alabama, the 9 seed versus Oklahoma in Norman. Who do you got?
Bama has not looked good the past month. -3 rushing yards to Georgia in the SEC championship game. They, in my opinion, they got lucky that they got it.
Mm-hmm.
They benefited heavily from the SEC bias and from ESPN being a partner with the SEC.
They did not drop with the loss.
They did not drop.
They were 9th going in, and it wasn't close, and they did not drop out the 9th spot.
And that even though I'm a Bama fan, that's the issue that I kind of have with how this whole thing is set up. Because I agree, you don't necessarily want to punish teams for playing that extra game while there are teams that were not good enough to make their conference championship. But then you can't punish BYU at the same time. You can't do both.
You can't do that, and you can't punish Notre Dame,
I'm
who's
fine with
ahead of
punishing
my.
Notre Dame. I'm fine with that.
Well,
I got
but
no
I'm just
problem.
saying. Well, I'm saying, but if you're saying that you can't punish the.
But you're right. You're right, because they were ahead of Miami the whole time.
They were ahead of Miami. Both of them didn't play. And because BYU lost, then the committee said, well, now they're, Miami's closer to Notre Dame, then we have to look at head-to-head. Well, if head-to-head wasn't a factor in the first 4 playoff brackets, why did it become a factor now? You can't pick and choose what metrics you want to use each week.
They just make it up as they go along.
Yeah. And that's my beef with it. Yes. I do like Notre Dame, but I don't like what Notre Dame is doing now. We'll talk about that later, but when we get into solving the issues. So who do you got? You got Oklahoma, take it? Or
Yeah.
Bama?
I'm going Oklahoma, even though they honestly haven't looked that great either. But their defense is better, and it's at Oklahoma.
Norman, Bama's banged up a little bit, right? I don't know if they're going to get their running backs back.
No, I doubt it. Oklahoma's already beat them this year.
Yep. So I think Oklahoma. So then we move to December 20th. The noon game, you got the U, who snuck in, versus Texas A&M in College Station.
I'm going with Miami. I think
they got something to prove.
They have a little something to prove. They also have the best offensive player out of either team with Malachi Toney, the freshman receiver. I mean, I'm not the biggest Carson Beck fan, but he has college football playoff experience. He has big game experience. He's not going to be rattled playing in a big game. Whereas Texas A&M's quarterback, Marcel Reed, I mean, that Texas game, it wasn't the best for him. It's going to be the first time A&M's in the playoff. I don't know that they're going to be ready for it. Miami, they played last year, I believe. I'm pretty sure Miami beat them. Again, different year, different season, but I think Miami will come out on top. I think they have a little something to prove, just to hey, we do belong. It's not a fluke that we got in this thing.
Yeah, I like your points, but I'm still going with the home team, Texas A&M. I just think College Station is going to be rocking and rolling. I don't trust. I mean, I know Carson Beck has experience. I just don't trust him. I don't know why. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. All right, the 3:30 game, we've got the Green Wave of Tulane versus the Ole Miss minus Lane Kiffin. How much of an effect is that going to have? Any at all?
I think it's going to have an effect. Not that they're going to lose the game, but I mean, Kiffin's gone. Their play caller, Charlie Weiss Jr., is going with him. He's still coaching this game, but he's
right.
Kind of doing double duty. Maybe he's not wholly focused on the game plan. But on the same hand, Tulane's coach is leaving too, so he's doing the same thing. He's double dipping.
Right.
So I think at the end of the day, it's just who has the better players, and it's Ole Miss.
It's Ole Miss. Yep, I agree with you there.
I think it'll be closer. I don't think this one's necessarily going to be a blowout. Tulane's the past couple of years, I mean, they've had a pretty good football team. So I think it'll be closer than what people are anticipating, but Ole Miss is going to get it done.
And then the late game out in Eugene, Oregon, you've got JMU versus Oregon, the Ducks. The Dogs versus the Ducks, right?
Yep. I mean, I think Oregon's going to win pretty easily. I will say JMU fans have been, I mean, they understand how they got in, and they probably shouldn't have been in, so they're having fun with it. And they've mentioned that Dan Lanning, he's got like a 900 winning percentage against every school that doesn't have their primary colors as purple and gold, where he's 500. So they're, they're talking that up. Like, hey, we're purple and gold too. So don't count us out, but I'm going to count them out.
Yeah. I think Oregon. So we got Oregon. I have Oklahoma advancing. You have Alabama. We both have Ole Miss, and then I have.
No, I have Oklahoma.
Did you? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said Alabama, but yeah. So we both have Oklahoma, Oregon, Ole Miss, and then we only differ on the Miami and A&M game. So, all right, we'll come back, after these games, and then we'll figure out the quarterfinals as well. So let's talk real quick. How do we solve this mess that is the college football playoffs? That is these coaches leaving during the playoffs. That is the, kids, Notre Dame's situation where Marcus Freeman's, the report, the AD says that, Freeman talked with his captains and the captains voted to not go because half the starters are going to opt out because it's not the playoffs and it's going to be a totally different roster and they didn't want to play.
Yeah. So the way you fix this whole thing starts with college football as a whole, and it'll fix the playoff by itself as well. Let's stop pretending that this is college sports, that this is amateur. This is professional at this point. Let's make it professional. Yeah, the schools are still the team names and whatever. These guys aren't students. They are here to play football at all but maybe 3 schools. They are here to play football. That's just let them at this point. There's no sense in these guys. They're not going to class. They're taking online classes, and they are. Trust me, as someone who's taken online classes, you're not learning anything. Okay,
No,
they're not going to school. Okay, they're here for football. All right, as Cardell Jones says, that they didn't come here to play school, right? They're here to play football. Let's quit pretending that this has anything to do with academics. That in and of itself is going to fix the calendar because you don't have to worry about your transfer portal deadlines before the start of a new semester so these guys can be enrolled in classes. Cut all of that out. Now coaches don't have to jump while their season's still going on so they can get a head start on the portal so that they can get a head start on recruiting. You don't have to worry about it. Season can be done just like in the NFL. You don't leave till your season is done. You're not allowed to. That fixes itself right there. You don't have to worry about early signing day because, again, these recruits are not coming here for school. They can sign whenever they want. So that fixes your calendar. That fixes your coach issue right there. That's a simple fix that, people are going to have an issue with because, academic integrity. But when these guys are making several $100,000s now, some of them multi-millions, if they want to go to school, they can still go to school. Nothing's stopping them. They can either postpone it or you can still have the option since the team is tied to the school still. If you want to take your classes, go ahead, right? And if you're a school like Stanford, who would probably want to uphold their academic integrity, it's going to put you at a disadvantage recruiting if you make your kids, your recruits, go to class. But that's each individual's team and school's choice. I'm tired of the term student athlete, and I want to be clear, this is just for football. The rest of the sports can still be under the NCAA. This is just, the old model. This is just for football, specifically FBS football. Because I'm tired of it. It's annoying. You can't build a relationship with your team as a fan. Having 30 to 40% of your roster turnover every year.
Well, that's just not in football anymore. That's basketball too. I mean,
it is.
Look at our 2 teams here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, you're right.
One person was on the roster.
We're talking. Yeah. We're talking football now, but this can apply to basketball too.
Yeah,
it can apply to all sports. But that's, in my mind, that's the simplest fix. That fixes the coach issue. As far as the playoff goes, I have other ideas, but I'd like to get your feedback just on that initial portion right there.
I think,
because you're from the generation that I think would have more of an issue with that. My generation, I don't think people would.
Yes, my generation would probably be like, and hey, we're paying you all this money to go, you're getting a full ride. You need to go, just, blah, 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 blah. Why do you need to get,
Now that they're getting paid, why do they have to go to school?
yeah, break away from the NCAA, be a minor league, right? And you don't have to have the 3 years to get to the NFL.
That's
Now,
an NFL rule, though. So
that is an NFL
would be up
rule,
to the
so
NFL.
that would be up to the NFL. But okay, so 3 years, which I think is probably still wise, just because of
I do too.
development, right? But this way, yeah, I like it because you can grow along with your team. If I guess the only thing is, okay, if
well, because it's professional, you have contracts.
You have contracts, right? So then
you're
these
signing
guys,
a contract.
But then the portal would probably be not even in existence, because if you got a contract, you can't.
I was going to expand on it for the playoff portion. You would still have the portal for the lower levels. You would have free agency at the top. Because in my mind, I'm thinking you can sign the 1-year contract, the 2-year, 3-year, 4-year. I would still only keep the 4 years of eligibility. No more 6-7-year guys out here.
Yeah.
You get 4 years. No, there's no more red shirts. You get 4 years, whether you play or not. 4 years. So you can sign that contract coming out of high school. Say you sign that 2-year deal. Now you're a free agent. So that's your portal. Quote unquote.
Okay.
But in my mind, you still have the FCS. And I don't think it's fair for those guys to ball out and not be able to jump up a level. So they would have the portal.
Well, but they would be free agents. They would be free agents, right?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, you could set it up
because if the FC, because if in your scenario, if the NCAA doesn't control football at the highest level, then if kids just quit the FCS, they're free agents.
Yeah, you're right.
You're free agent, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't even have to worry about the transfer portal. You got free agency, and it's just, it needs to be set up like the NFL, where you can't have tampering, right? There's that free agency window. And then same thing with the coaches. You can't tamper with coaches if you want to fire your coach ahead of, because who was it who got fired? Franklin, right? I mean, he gets fired and after 6 games, what's his name from Oklahoma State, right? Gets fired. Gundy gets fired after 3 games. And it's like, okay, you're going to fire them, but you cannot hire anybody until
you can't start looking until the window.
I mean, you can look, but you can't tamper. You can't make it.
Yeah.
Right. You can't contact them. So, yeah, I like that. All
right.
And
so
go ahead, real quick.
Next portion, you're setting up your college football playoff, how it's a mess. These mega conferences are not working out. Look at the ACC, right? Your 2 teams in the conference championship literally played like the bottom 8 teams in the conference. Didn't play each other, didn't play any of the other top teams. So we're going right now in the Power 4, there are 67 teams. We're going to get that number to 80. So this is the new college football. This is the new professional league. It's going to be 80 teams, 80 schools. So you have your 67. You get Notre Dame, Oregon State, Washington State, and then we can figure out the other 10, however we want to do that. So you got your 80 teams, 8 conferences, 10 teams each, round robin. Everybody's playing everybody in conference. And we're setting the out-of-conference schedule up just like the NFL does. You finish in first place the year before, you got 3 opponents that finished in first place from these conferences, right? Because just like the AFC North, everybody in the AFC North played, what did they play this year? The NFC, was it the NFC East? So that's exactly how you do it. Because 4-4, they all match up. Finished first last year, you're playing the first place team from, ACC, SEC, and Big 12 if you're a Big 10 school or whatever. You would probably have to figure the names of the conferences and call them whatever. But that gets everybody on an equal playing field in your conference. And then you get the tiebreakers set up just like the NFL has. So in this scenario, conference record is so let me go back a step. So now your conference championship is your de facto round 1 to the college football playoff. So that's 16 teams right there. They
Mhm.
play each other in the conference championship at the number 1 seed's home field. So you have your home college football playoff game still. To determine the tiebreakers, obviously you're going to go conference record. First tiebreaker will then flip to overall record. So if there's a tie for second place between two 6-2 team or 7-2 teams in the conference, whoever had the better overall record. So you have these set
Not head to
tiebreakers.
head. You don't go head to head then.
Well, yes.
If
Sorry.
there's-
Head to head.
Okay, I was
Say
gonna
there's
say
a 3-way
if
tie,
there's
you would. So yeah, head to head would be number 1.
okay.
Overall record would be number 2. And then, just like the NFL has, you have these
Well,
set
I
tiebreakers.
think your
going
overall
down.
record would be number 1. Your overall record would be number 1.
Well, no, because to get to your conference championship, you're going off of your conference record.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Your overall conference record would be number 1.
Right. So that's
then head to head would be 2. Then
right. That determines your standings. So say you have a conference team that's 9-0, and then 2 that are at 7-2.
Right.
So that tiebreaker there would go to head to head.
Yeah.
Right. And say you have 3 teams at 8-1 where they all beat each other. Now you're going to the overall record where you're looking at the out of conference record. So maybe one team went 8-1 in conference, but they lost all 3 of their non-conference games. They're going to lose that tiebreaker. So you have these set tiebreakers. There's no need for a committee. You get rid of all of that.
There it is, and there you go. And then you funnel down to 8. And then that leaves 2 and 1. And then that leaves all the other schools to play for the bowl games. The bowl games are going.
Play bowl games. They can go home. They can, we're leaving some FBS teams out of this new 80-team division.
Mm-hmm.
They can go join the FCS. They can create their own thing. They can do their own whatever.
Right.
But these 80 schools are separate. These are the professional schools at this point. I think that's a fix that I would like to see happen. I think it would work. I think it eliminates a lot of the issues and complaints that we currently have with college football.
Yeah, because I think the big thing is, I think next year the SEC is going to a 9-game schedule. Most conferences have a 9-game schedule. It needs to happen. Notre Dame needs to get in one of these conferences and just say, here we go. We're play on the field and get it done. None of this committee stuff, none of this computer rankings, none of this TV biased, nothing. Right.
It's all on the field because this new league, it's got its own TV thing. Every conference is equal. Nobody's got a better TV deal than anybody else, and ESPN, NBC, Fox, they would pay. They're going to pony up for this.
Yeah. As long as it's all equal.
Yep.
Right. Because you can't have.
You can throw a salary cap on your roster just like, a pro league would. Salary floor, right? You can do all of this stuff. But I think it's time to stop the charade that this is amateur and that these guys are student athletes.
Yep. All right. Well, that we probably should land the ship here. It is it was good conversations, good talking about what we can do. Next week will be probably our last show of the 5-season year. So we're going to, and it's going to be the week before Christmas. It'll be the 17th, the 24th, and the 1st will probably be off Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So we probably won't. We'll be back next week on the 17th, but we won't come back again until January. So for next week, we're going to, big topic of the week will be our Christmas wish list for the fans of Cincinnati. So we'll have a couple of wishes that come true, and we'll have some realistic ones, and then we'll have some ones that that are truly wishes.
Yes.
Until next time, thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, your troopers, put your name in the thing so we can give you a big old shout out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the program grow. And if you got a topic for us, you want us to talk about something, drop us a line. You never know. I'll send you an invite and you can hop on and we can chat about the Cincinnati sports scene. So until next week, for Sam, I'm Dave. Everybody take care.